Millions enjoy chocolate every day, yet almost no one sees the hidden world behind it. Inside sealed factories, steam rises through steel corridors, robotic arms stir molten cocoa, and beans from Ghana to Ecuador begin their transformation. Join the journey as we reveal the full process, from raw fruit to the chocolate we love. Before chocolate ever touches a machine, it begins its life thousands of kilometers away, in the humid equatorial belt where cacao trees grow under towering rainforest canopies. Here, farmers walk narrow paths lined with broad tropical leaves, searching for ripe cacao pods. The trees do not give up their fruit easily. Each pod must be cut by hand using small curved blades, careful not to damage the branch that will bear next year's crop. The pods fall with a soft thud into woven baskets, their skins streaked in yellows, reds, and deep purples. Once harvested, the pods are opened within hours. Inside, the beans glisten in a thick white pulp, sweet, sticky, and nothing like chocolate yet. Farmers scoop the wet beans into wooden fermentation boxes layered like steps. Over several days, natural microbes begin breaking down the pulp, generating heat that rises in visible waves. Workers turn the beans regularly, allowing oxygen to feed the fermentation process. This is where chocolate's first aromas are created: floral, fruity, and complex. After fermentation, the beans must dry under the equatorial sun. Farmers spread them across raised wooden beds, raking them constantly so they dry evenly and avoid mold. Birds circle overhead, while the beans slowly shift from pale brown to a deeper, richer color. When the moisture level reaches the precise threshold, the beans are ready for the next stage. They're packed into burlap sacks, stamped with origins like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Brazil, each sack carrying the character of its soil and climate. Workers stack them into tall, leaning rows inside village collection centers, the air filled with the warm scent of dried cacao skins. Forklifts lift pallet loads onto trucks that travel long roads toward coastal warehouses where global buyers gather around metal tables. Inspectors cut open sacks, pour beans into trays, and judge color, aroma, and moisture. Deals worth millions are decided bean by bean. From these warehouses, containers are sealed and lifted by cranes onto cargo ships bound for Europe, Asia, and North America. Inside climate-controlled steel boxes, thousands of sacks cross oceans under changing skies and shifting waters. When they arrive, rail lines and trucks carry them toward the stainless steel factories where modern chocolate is born. Once the cacao beans arrive at the factory, they enter a world that feels nothing like the farms and forests they came from. Here, steel replaces soil, robotics replace sunlight, and every movement is engineered for precision. This is the industrial cleaning and roasting stage, the moment raw agriculture transitions into controlled, mechanical transformation. The journey begins with air classifiers, towering machines that pull the beans upward through powerful streams of pressurized air. As the beans rise, dust, dried pulp, twigs, and tiny stones are blown aside, separating weight from weightless in a matter of seconds. The cleaned beans fall into steel chutes, while unwanted debris is whisked away into sealed collection chambers. Workers monitor the process from elevated walkways, watching digital readouts that track airflow strength and impurity levels in real time. Next, the beans travel beneath magnetic traps, dense blocks of engineered magnets suspended above the belts. Any metal particles picked up during harvesting or transport are pulled upward instantly. The fragments cling to the magnet surface like filings to a brush, each one removed before it can enter the roasting line. It is invisible safety, performed by silent machinery. From here, the beans enter the roasting hall where massive drum roasters spin like slow-moving spacecraft. Inside each drum, heat builds in carefully controlled curves. As the beans tumble, internal paddles lift and drop them in rhythmic cycles. The heat releases aromatic oils, triggers chemical reactions, and deepens color. The air fills with warm notes of cocoa, caramel, and subtle fruit. The first true smell of chocolate. When roasting is complete, the beans move into the cracking and winnowing line. Heavy rollers break each bean open, separating the brittle shells from the dense cocoa nibs inside. Air currents lift the shells into suction ducts, while the nibs fall into vibrating steel trays. These nibs will become the foundation of every chocolate recipe. After roasting and winnowing, the cocoa nibs enter the heart of the factory, the grinding and liquefaction hall. Here, the atmosphere shifts once again. The air grows warmer, the sound deepens, and the aroma of chocolate thickens. This is where solid beans finally become liquid. The nibs drop into enormous granite roller mills, their surfaces polished smooth from years of constant motion. As the wheels turn, they crush the nibs with immense weight. At first, the mixture looks coarse, almost sandy. But as pressure builds, the nibs release their natural fat, cocoa butter, and the texture begins to change. A dark paste forms, swirling beneath the rollers like a living substance. The paste flows into precision refiners that reduce particle size to nearly 20 microns, far below what the tongue can detect. This final reduction creates the signature smoothness of fine chocolate. From the refiners, the mixture emerges as cocoa liquor, a river of molten brown metal streaming through insulated pipes.
From the grinding hall, the warm cocoa liquor flows into one of the most important areas of the entire factory, the section where chemistry and engineering merge. Here, chocolate evolves from a raw, bitter paste into the smooth, harmonious material known around the world. The journey begins inside giant stainless steel mixers. Massive paddle arms rotate slowly through the thick liquor, folding in precise amounts of sugar, extra cocoa butter, and for certain recipes, milk powder. Each ingredient is stored in towering silos and delivered through sealed tubes to keep moisture away. When these components meet inside the mixer, the blend is still coarse and heavy, resembling wet sand. But the transformation is only beginning. The mixture then passes into 5-roll refiners, where engineering precision becomes essential. The chocolate flows between steel cylinders set only microns apart. Each roller spins faster than the last, pressing the mixture into thinner and thinner ribbons. By the time it exits the 5th roller, particle size has fallen to around 20 microns, small enough that the tongue can no longer detect individual grains. Smoothness is no longer an idea, but a measurable reality. From here, the chocolate enters the conching stage, long, trough-like machines where chocolate is kneaded continuously for hours. Heavy metal arms sweep through the mixture, folding, stretching, and aerating it. Heat rises gently within the conchi, helping evaporate unwelcome acidic notes, while airflow softens bitterness and sharp edges. The aroma in this hall is deep, warm, and unmistakably chocolate. Finally, the refined mixture moves toward tempering. Specialized machines guide the chocolate through precise temperature curves, controlling how cocoa butter crystallizes. This step creates the signature glossy shine. After refinement and conching, the chocolate reaches the most fast-paced section of the factory, the molding, cooling, and packaging hall. Here, everything moves with mechanical precision. Molten chocolate travels through insulated pipes into rows of waiting molds. Steel nozzles release perfect splashes into each cavity, and vibrating platforms shake the molds at high speed, smoothing the surface and removing air bubbles. The molds slide into long cooling tunnels where chilled air flows in controlled patterns. Temperature curves here are crucial. Too warm and the bars lose their shine. Too cold and the structure weakens. Robotic arms lift the bars and send them toward the wrapping line. Foil sheets unwind from spinning reels, folded and sealed around each bar in milliseconds. Printed sleeves follow, applied by synchronized robotic applicators that move with almost balletic rhythm. Finally, the bars are boxed, stacked, palletized, and wrapped for shipping. Forklifts load the pallets into waiting trucks, sending chocolate towards stores and homes across the world.
Look, the Kit Kats. Can we have one?
All right, go ahead, but don't spoil your dinner.
Yay, thank you.